So the hand's on his back. With no gi, I'm just going to give him my hand. Okay. So we're here. You can have my arm. Grab the wrist either like that or here, and then grab behind my elbow. Yep. Or you can go two on top. Either way, that's fine. I'm going to use my left hand to post, but what I'm not going to do is do anything from the waist down. So I'm not going to sprawl on him. I'm not going to bring up my knees. I'm not going to use my feet. Okay. So I'm just going to use my hand. He goes to bridge and roll. Okay, so that's what's going to happen if it's not perfect. And the only thing that was wrong with that was the angle. So bring your ear closer to my hand. Now look right at the camera. Now go there. Keep going, keep going. Good. Okay, so if the angle's correct, the only way this is going to fail is if your hips break. And what I mean by that is what happens a lot of times is people will bridge, and then as they start to turn over, they pull their hip back. And this is how you get your back taken or the person stays on top. As I roll them over, if there's no body on top, your hip should touch before your knee. Okay, so watch. I have the arm, I look to 12 o'clock. It's my hip that's going to touch the mat before my knee. Okay, so knees on top. All right, I'm here, looking back at 12 o'clock. I'm not even going to worry about trapping the foot. I'm going to bridge straight up. He can use his hand if he wants. I know I'm going to get that every time, okay, as long as that angle is correct and I keep my hips in the air. So I want you guys just to practice that real quick. Let your partner lay down. Let them have your arm. Okay, so here's my right arm. I can use my left hand to post, but I'm not going to use my feet, and that means he's going to have to do it perfect. If his angle is off or his bridge isn't right, I'll be able to stop it with my hand. If it's not, you cannot stop it with your hands. Okay, so that's a good test to see if you're doing it right. Go ahead. Very good. Okay, let's try that back and forth a couple times. Just make sure we've got that. Good, okay.
It's a little harder for your spine to stay.
That's a lot harder to do in a live match because your angle will go wrong. And what will happen is this is what happens all the time. People are on Mount Bottom and they're kind of panicking, not paying attention to their breathing, right? Trying really hard to get out, and they look the direction that they think they want to throw the person. So I'm trying to bridge, don't look this way. My eyes go this way, there's no way you're going to roll. And you're going to do that 2 or 3 times and then you're going to give up. And so that angle is super important. It's always at 12 o'clock angle. As long as my hips stay up and I maintain that connection, I'll get it, okay? Tricky part is nobody's going to just give you their arm like that. So with no gi, it can be a little more difficult, but you don't have to trap an arm in that way. All you have to do is keep them from posting for a second, okay? So for example, he's mounted on me. I go here. That's enough now for me to get a bridge and roll. All right, so let's look at that one. You guys can see he's mounted. I'm going to grab a wrist and push it across and post it on his hip. And now I have my UPA. Look to 12 o'clock. There's a bridge and roll. Okay, so cross the body and hold it for a second. Let's try that one now. Go ahead. Good. Last thing. It's not in a class on escape from out. If it was, we'd spend a lot more time working on this. But let's bring back in side mount. Okay. So now he traps my arm. However, grab an arm. Okay. He goes to bridge and roll now. That's my counter. Okay. So anytime I'm on top, when I feel him grab an arm, he's got my right arm. I know my right foot needs to be light. It needs to be light, like I'm ready to step up to my toes in a minute. When he goes to bridge, it's already there. That's ready. Okay, if I'm on bottom and he grabs my left arm, I'm going to use my right hand on the mat, but I know my left foot needs to be kind of loose and relaxed. I don't want it to get trapped under his body. He goes to bridge. That's your counter. If they're strong and you're tiny, right? When he goes to bridge, you do a slow motion, you may end up having to step like that to stay on top. And then you tighten it up. What matters is that you just stay on top, okay? So now let's practice that transition to side mount. Let them have your wrist and let them do the bridge and roll, and use that as a transition into side mount toppers. Okay, go ahead. So guys, look here real quick. Like there's some people, go ahead and lay down, that are so, what's the word? Well coordinated, that they can do this without putting their hands on the mat. That's not me, or most people, okay? Because I'm not real good at levitation. So when he grabs his arm, I know for sure he's going to take me this way, so my right foot needs to be loose. But as I make the transition to side mount, I'm for sure going to touch the mat with my left hand. So when he goes to do it, that's what makes this part easy. If you guys try and do it without touching the mat, go. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's a lot more awkward. So there's nothing wrong with you getting base with your other hand as you transition into side mount to make that a little easier for you. Okay? Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for frequent updates because we're updating this every week. And make sure you comment and like and share our videos. We appreciate it, and we definitely try and respond to all the comments. And if you like what we're doing and you like the material, check out SBG University, SBGU, and you're going to see a ton more in much greater depth than what you see here on YouTube. Thank you very much.